Hi, it's Bob Smolko from Remax All-American, and we're here doing another principal interview on our Principal Success Series, and I'm here with Tracey Jones, or Miss Jones, and she's the head of the Toano Tigers, and I have a special interest in this school because all three of my kids have gone and graduated from
Go Tigers.
as Toano Tigers. At any rate, what we're doing if you've been following Success Series, is we've been interviewing each individual principal, because if you go on our site, you can get all the statistics on schools from greatschools.com and a bunch of other areas. But what we like to do is to put a picture or a face on the school and a personality to the school. All the schools are probably working out of the same mission statement and the same direction and the same goals that are put out by the school board and the superintendent. However, so we just want to ask Ms. Jones a couple of questions to put a face on her school. Ms. Jones, what do you think? What defines a Toano Tiger? What are the ambitions of the children at Toano Middle School?
One of the things I would say about our students here is that they are very compassionate and very tolerant of others. I've worked at other middle schools, and middle school age kids sometimes tend to be not nice as they can be to others, but we are a very tolerant community of students. We do community service projects. A lot of them, they want to do more. So I will say that really makes us a unique middle school, because I have a group of kids that really want to give back to the community.
Okay, one of our questions here is that what actually do they? Can you give us a few examples
Sure.
of what community events that they participate in?
Most recently, we have a National Junior Honor Society here at Toano Middle School, as most middle schools do. We have two fundraisers going on right now, one for leukemia, and then we had another one where they were working to, I'm not quite sure, it's like a habitat program, working with adopting animals, and they were collecting money for that. Then just last week, we had a project with our Spanish program where they were also caring about people in countries like Chile, Nicaragua, and so forth. And we had a community service project to give back to people in those countries too. At Christmas, a typical canned food drives, things that many mid schools do. But we have something ongoing all the time, not just at the holiday time. Last year we started last year actually, called Career Builders Club. It's the companion to the Key Club at the high school, and they're all about community-based projects. And many people are familiar with Key Clubs at high school, so we're the only middle school in Williamsburg that has that program because our kids wanted it.
So it's like an extension of a Key Club?
Yes, it's like the middle school version of the Key Club, yes.
Is that an extension of the Kiwanis?
Yes.
Okay.
The Toano Kiwanis, which is a part of our community, of course, approached us about, first we had kids with the idea, and then I started researching as to see what we could find out, and one reached out to me, and we immediately grabbed it up, and we have kids in it, I would say at least 20 members or more, so our kids are really about giving back to the community.
Well, one of my questions is usually how do you describe the culture here, and I think you've just done that pretty much so. I noticed all around the school there's different signs like, integrity and
Yes.
self-discipline, and
Yep.
and that's really encouraging. And we had a pretty good lunch today. What is the if I had to take a look at your day, and I know you're crazy today because you're down a person's out, but on a normal week, what percentage of your time would you say is spent with the kids in the trenches, with the kids, with the teachers leading and guiding the teachers, and then the mundane administrative stuff that you have to get done?
So we answer them in each section?
Yeah, what percentage of your time a week would be spent?
I kind of combine teacher and student together, because classroom visits, working with kids and seeing them in the classroom in action. I would say on a regular normal week, and not every week is normal, I'm going to tell you that.
Well,
on a normal week, I would say between myself and Mr. Hurley, who's the assistant principal, I would say 60%. The mundane things like buses and cafeteria, which you can kind of put cafeteria duty in with the kids. So 60-40, I would say. Should probably be higher than that, but there are always things coming up and happening, and parents and things of that nature coming in and wanting to talk or meet. So,
one thing I forgot to ask you in the beginning of the interview was, can you tell me a little bit about your background and your credentials?
Sure.
Where have you been?
Let's see. I got my undergraduate degree at Longwood University. It was Longwood College at the time. And immediately I started teaching in the area. I didn't live here in Williamsburg area. I lived in a place called Lunenburg County. Probably never heard of it, but it's a little small country town. Grew up on a farm. And I was recruited by York County School Division to be a elementary school teacher. I was in York County for 5 years as an elementary school teacher, and then I moved to this division back in 1999, I believe. Taught for 17 years, roughly, at Berkeley Middle School as a history teacher. And then I got my master's degree at William & Mary. While I was teaching, I went to school. And then I came here to Toano about 6 years ago. I was AP for 2 years, and this is my 4th year as principal. So I kind of became a community member back in 1993. I've been here ever since.
And this may be an odd question,
Sure.
but what's the life expectancy of a principal?
I'm waiting to see how that's going to turn out. I don't really know yet. I'm 6 years into it. It is a very demanding job. It's ever changing, ever evolving. There's always something new, and that makes it interesting too, because you're not doing the same thing every day. Every day is different.
Well, I'm just looking at a principal, not your job and not this school, but there's a principal normally. Is there ambition to go to several schools or stay at one school, or
the ambition is different for different people. I mean, I've known principals who want experience at all levels. I've known people who've done all levels and then moved on to central office positions. But personally, for myself, I really love middle school kids. Like I said, I did elementary for 5 years, which was a good experience, but I didn't think I fit well in elementary in terms of the school-age child. I really like middle school. I don't know personally what I'll do next, but right now I'm really happy being a middle school principal. But for every person, it's different, depending on what some people's career goals are.
Sure.
Some people do this and they want to be superintendent. I have no desire to be a superintendent, but some people do have those kind of ambitions.
Yeah, that's a tough job. But
Yes.
Anyway, well, we appreciate you letting us come in and give
Sure.
lunch to and say thank you to the teachers and the we call them the educators
And
because
thank
we don't
you.
want to limit it. We have administrators and custodial and everybody. But usually my final question, Tim, is I was watching the Windows 10 commercial is my one question, and
Okay.
it says one of these. It kind of got to me is that one of these kids is going to change the world. Okay, so as you
Right.
look out over your group of children and they say, and then the question is, are we ready? And are the kids ready? And I think that's related to technology. How would you say that the school is prepared for that?
In terms
for
of
the
preparing our
future?
kids for technology and the technological world, just like the job is ever changing, so is technology, and our division does a great job keeping up with that. This morning, I was just in a meeting about Office 360, which is, I won't get in. I'm just learning today, so I don't have lots of detail, but something that's going to be rolled out to our kids, to our teachers, is a new way of communicating within the division with our two teachers, students to communicate with each other. So I would say we are always on the forefront in terms of technology in this division and what we're bringing to our kids. I don't know if you're aware that at middle school level, each kid has a laptop now. Toano piloted that program last year. We have 6th and 7th graders. Hornsby and Berkeley came on board this year with their 6th graders. So in terms of are they ready? Yes, they are getting ready. They are forever getting things into the students' hands and getting them to know new things. It's hard to keep up because it's always changing, but I think we are doing a great job in this division and making sure our kids are ready and getting ready and prepared for the future to lead this country.
Well, to lead or to leave?
No, to lead. They will be great leaders. Great ideas, You don't think so at middle school, but, I see kids, I talk to them every day, and the things that they have to say, and sometimes have their mind thinks is very extraordinary.
I thought it was. I can go back to because my three children, I should say, went through this school.
How are they doing, by the way?
Well, one's the graphic designer who did the poster up in there, and one's a teacher at War Hill High School for 5 years as an art teacher, and one's has his own little business down in North Carolina, and
Perfect.
probably a professional surfer. I don't know,
Excellent.
but
Great
they're all doing great. But the point of it was back in those days, it was a little bit of a culture shock for me because there's a difference in the way that you educated a hormonal kid versus the other two sides of it. It's more based on discipline as opposed to education, and it's a whole different. It's a learning curve for a parent too. So
and exactly at middle school,
and it's more difficult for parents because you have to stay a little bit more hands off in the school, not at home, but in the school.
Yes.
So, Well, Tracey, I want to thank you very much
thank
for
you.
taking the time and coming to.
And thank you so much for
getting on our success series. Mr. Hurley's not here, so
yes,
he's
that's
on
the
break.
radio in the background saying, and he's not here. You're right. So thanks for gonna call me. Watch.
Okay, well, thanks again.
No problem.
That was great.